this evil person. But like most older white rich people, it's not on my radar because it doesn't affect me. I mean, I think that's most people in general. If it's not on your radar and it doesn't affect you, all you're really going to see is your side of things. You're never going to be able to understand the other side, let alone try to actually see it. Another thing that I think, as a black man, I can tell you that we come from something that is unique, and we do live in a great country, but we do have a conflicted history with this country. And when they talk about the national anthem and the flag and, all of these things, we just don't feel that way. So that's why we do feel that, hey, things aren't going right. We want to kneel, and this is the time that we're going to do it because this is what's going to get you talking about it. Unfortunately, the protests have become extremely watered down. More action than actually kneeling with are much needed. The NFL has kind of hijacked the whole thing and turned it into something completely different. You got, these random Trump supporters who are burning jerseys, and they take their jersey off, and to everybody's surprise, wink, wink, they have on a Trump shirt or some type of Trump paraphernalia. You got people of color who are upset that Kaepernick still doesn't have a job, upset that the NFL has handled so many situations horribly. They've let guys who have literally raped and murdered people into the league with no problem. And now Colin Kaepernick decides to draw attention to a plight in his community, and he is, a horrible person, a son of a bitch, as our president would say. I will say, I made the decision not to boycott the NFL. The closer we get to the end of the season, the further we go into the season, I find myself questioning that decision, not necessarily because I hate the NFL. I love the NFL. I think it's a great product. I love my football for a lot of different reasons, mainly fantasy reasons, mainly because I want to see the Cowboys win another Super Bowl before I pass away, whenever that will be. But I'm really, the NFL as a whole, with the way they're starting to handle this whole situation, it is making me say, hey, I don't want to put any type of money. I don't want my eyes to be with it. I get it. Everybody has their point. Colin Kaepernick having a job, not having a job was not my point. Jerry Jones saying what he said definitely got me closer to that point, though. Good luck to the NFL. Good luck.
Hey, Rory and Lakita. Thanks for welcoming me to the show. So we're going to talk about my Dallas Cowboys, America's team. But the latest actions from Jerry Jones, our owner, doesn't seem like we're supporting all of America. So, it seems like there's a convenience factor where, Jerry Jones and the organization, they'll decide to support some players, whether they have a record, they're under investigation. But when it comes to something that's affecting their bottom line or where they're receiving pressure from, in this case, the president, you kind of take a step back from being the supporting the players or being for the players. Now we've seen where just a week or so ago, he was in support of the players kneeling with the team. But now he's bringing up things about rules that were already in place last year, but they haven't been spoke of until now. So, as a Cowboys fan, it kind of puts in a situation where do you support the team or do you support the players? And just looking at it outside of football, you kind of feel for the players, especially the minority players who know they would like to do something, but they got to make a living as well. So, what do? Do you kneel to stand and support the cause or the protest, whether you agree with it or not, or do you make a living for your family? So it's a tough situation, but the one thing I think we can glean from this whole situation is that in a matter of moments, by a single action from the vice president, from a stroke of a pen in a sense, change is happening in the form of stopping the protests. So, if it was that much effort put into just understanding from the players' perspective, particularly the minority players, then maybe whether they agree with the protest, the form of the protest or not, maybe they could understand that, there is some social equality issues that need to be addressed. And maybe they put those efforts into actions to resolve that just as quick as they put efforts into action to stop the protest. I'm definitely in support of the players, especially the minority players. A little disappointed in Jerry Jones and his actions, but, we just have to figure out what we can do as a society to make some change. And as a Cowboys fan, I'm not sure what that is, but I would just hope our leaders would step up and just recognize the real things that are going on in this world and what we really need to be rectifying, and not just looking at kneeling during the anthem.
Man, we really love this Survivor Series. Breast Cancer Conquerors. Lakita and I had a blast last weekend. We were rubbing elbows with some conquerors at Pink Pinch's third annual banquet. Great time, good food, good conversation. But back to our month-long Survivor Series. This time around, we're talking with Olympic sprinter Novlene Mills, native of St. Ann Parish in Jamaica, University of Florida alum, now resides in Orlando. And Lakita, I think she would allow me to read some of these stats. I mean, you gotta think about this. She has 4 Olympic medals. 2004 in Athens, bronze medal in the 4x400. 2008 in Beijing, another bronze in the 4x400. 2012 Summer Olympics in London. That's a poignant year for her. She got a bronze medal. She won that and postponed her breast cancer surgery to go compete in the Olympics. She is a beast. Came back in 2016, won a silver down in Rio. She's got me motivated to overcome any obstacle. Lakita had a great conversation with her. Well, we both did. We had a great conversation with her. And of course, conqueror to conqueror, her and Lakita bonded like 2 peas in a pod. Now, to call her quick is a major understatement. So we are so glad she slowed down just a tad to talk with us. Married to the Games, Survivor Series. Novlene Williams-Mills, thank you so much for joining us on Married to the Game. We're in the presence of Olympic royalty right here.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I am so excited in doing this interview. And so, we're just going to, I'm about to take this and I'm about to be the captain of the ship and let Roy sit on the sideline and what he do, because this my thing right here. Usually I got to play the casual fan, but today, Of course, being a breast cancer survivor myself, when I read your story, I was so intrigued. And it actually brought me to tears. And I noticed that one of the things you were talking about was how you, at one point, didn't even want to talk about the story. But now you're at a position where you can talk about it. And so for a moment, if you don't mind, I just want to jump right in.
Okay, go ahead.
And go back a little bit to when you were training, you were doing your thing. At that moment, you were also, from if I can recall, because that chemo on the brain, we're doing the self-exam and you felt a lump.
Yes.
And so then you go to the doctor and they say what they say. You're like, talk to me about that. Where was your head at that point?
Well, for me, being that young, I have my doctor checkup. I went to see my gynecologist, and I went in, and during the exam, I told him, I was like, I feel a lump in my breast. So, you feel it and all that stuff, and for him, for a second, he was like, I doubt it's anything, but I guess he saw that look on my face was, I want to know what it was. So it was like, I'm going to send you to do a mammogram, because it was like, you're so young, so I have to, write the prescriptions, because you're not at that age for you to do a mammogram every year or however they do it. So he had me went and do the mammogram. I went back in after that, and it was like I had the results, but they saw the lump, but they weren't sure if it was cancerous. So it was like, I'm going to send you to do a biopsy, because I think he saw that look again on my face and know that I was not satisfied with, they weren't sure what it was. So it was a biopsy that really confirmed that, yes, it was cancer.
And what I love about your story is, although you were at the time facing, as some say, the big C, you did not let it phase you to the point of pulling out. You're like, you know what? I got a goal to do. I'm going to do it. So how are you maintaining at this point?
I'm maintaining pretty good. I still have my regular checkups that I go now. When I first started, it was every 3 months. Now it's every 6 months. So I have one coming up in October. So keeping my finger crossed, it's going to be 5 years. Everything will be good. Everything will be clean, clean bill of health just again. So I'm keeping my finger crossed, and, everything will go well as usual.
that's the thing. It's like you are a beast on the track, and you are a beast in handling this in life in general. So are there any similarities like in being a star athlete and then handling the victory of cancer?
Being an athlete and being a cancer survivor, I think for me, a lot of people always ask me, what gets you through when, you first hear that you have cancer. The point was I was getting ready for the Olympics during that time. It was like about a month from my Jamaica trials when I found out. Actually, when I started the whole process of, okay, what was this, what was that? But when I actually found out that I have cancer, it was about 2 days or so away from my Jamaica trials. I was literally getting ready to go to Jamaica that Tuesday, and I got the call on Monday that said I have cancer. I still went to Jamaica. Crazy as it sounds, I went to Jamaica the next day, and I qualified for the Olympics game in London 2012, which I also competed before I had my surgery. Mm-hmm. But one of the things, to be honest, that really helped me through those days was using track, using that distraction from the reality. I was running away from something. I was running away from reality that I have to deal with this. Winning a gold medal compared to beating cancer, it's no similarities. I mean, when you can honestly get up every single day and be like, I am a breast cancer survivor, I've faced this, then it's something that a lot of people doesn't survive, and you survive from it.
Right.
So as much as everybody want to win an Olympic medal, I have a couple, and I'm happy about them, don't get me wrong. But it's nothing compared as every single day I can mark another single day or another single month or another single year off my calendar and say, yes, I beat cancer. I am still alive, and I can tell my story.
I love that you are still enjoying life, and then you still look doggone good. Oh, my goodness. I was like, oh. So thank you so much.
Thank you for saying all of that. I mean, one of the things that a lot of people, ask me, during my track career, and a lot of people ask me during interviews, like, what's one of the moments you cherish so much in your track career? And I tell them, I'm like, everything after 2012, it may sound cliche or it may sound, cheesy, but I'm like, that was my second chance. I said that everything from 2012 was my second chance. My second chance of, getting back on that starting line, getting to compete, getting to do what I want to do, what I love to do. So that's my second chance, because I tell them a lot of people don't get second chances. And especially in a sport that demands so much from your body, where, to be honest, after 2012, leading up to the Olympics game, after my first surgery, because my first surgery was like 3 days after the Olympics game in London in 2012. I came back home and, I look at myself in the mirror and I cried every single day, because I was like, I leave from being this elite athlete to I can't even do nothing for myself. Like, how am I supposed to brush my teeth? How am I supposed to do this? I can't even cook my own food. I can't even do my own hair. It was something too painful for me. But it was at that time, I have my family and I have my friends to rely on so much, because it was surgery after surgery after surgery, and I feel like I wasn't getting a break. And I was like, how am I supposed to get back on the track to do nothing? I can't honestly, go back out there and compete. Am I supposed to compete? Because I'm like, am I ever going to recover from this surgery? Am I going to ever be, physically strong enough where, I have no upper body strength, what life's going to be like? They were like, just take it one day at a time. That's all we ask of you, one day at a time. And, they really encourage me and motivate me to get back out there on the track. And I give them a lot of credit for that. It took me a while here for a lot of people that didn't know, to find out, for the track world to even know, for my competitors to even know, people that I see every single day. It was